Hey, good morning, King Corbin. How are you doing?
I'm quite well, man. How about yourself?
Doing well, doing well. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us this morning, man.
Oh, no problem, dude. Always happy to.
Definitely. And I work for the Chiefs Wire, part of USA Today Sports. And we knew that you were a huge Kansas City Chiefs fan, so we wanted to make sure we got you on the site and just got your thoughts on the Chiefs and something like the greatest moments in Chiefs history.
Dude, I mean, for me, the greatest moments were always going to tailgate in the morning. That's, I think, the family atmosphere of the Kansas City Chiefs. Going to Arrowhead. I remember getting there at 5 a.m. before the gates opened, and then it was a race to your spot and getting there. And growing up, I had a friend of mine's dad who turned like a small school bus into a Chiefs van, and they built it out with grills. And so, like, that's what I remember, and like that's my history is just being there Sunday mornings and grilling out with my friends and family and going in and out of the game and just hearing the roar of the crowd from the parking lot sometimes because, when we were 10 years old, we'd have two tickets for a couple of us, so we'd switch in and out, going in and out of the games. And, just being a part of that every weekend growing up, I think is, for me, the history. But, and then getting to train with guys like, Will Shields helped train me for my transition into the NFL. You'd see like Willie Roaf come through, Dick Vermeil, Wigman, Priest Holmes, like having conversations with those guys. Like, to me, it's just kind of, I feel like the Chiefs are in my blood, man, good or bad or indifferent on how we're doing on the season. But it's just that's just in my blood.
Man, I definitely hear that. And I just want to get your take so far on the season. They just clinched the AFC West heading into another playoff. What are your thoughts so far with this team?
A bunch of things. I mean, it's been an exciting year. I was at the game versus Baltimore with Eric Stone Street. We had a good time at the game, and so that scares me a little bit that we got the win over Baltimore and then, potentially seeing them in the playoffs. But, we had 6 pro bowlers just, get added to the roster, which I think is amazing for Kansas City to have 6 guys going to the Pro Bowl. The new addition of Suggs, I think, is going to be huge for our defense. He's still got some play left in him. Going into the playoffs, I feel good this year. I'm always a little weary because we struggled to get that big win last year at home in the playoffs. But, I think it's exciting getting that win over the Patriots. I think Mahomes has got his head in the right place. Kelsey's catching on fire right now when he should be. So there's so many things that are starting to go. Our defense is playing lights out right now. So that all going into the playoffs, I think we're really clicking at the right time.
It definitely is. I'm definitely looking at that. And I just got to ask you now, like, just going back in history a little bit because you've been a Chiefs fan pretty much your whole life, who is your favorite Chiefs player all time and why?
Dude, being an offensive lineman, the powerhouse O-line we had, when I said like Wigman, Shields, Roaf, like those are my Chiefs heroes because they were just huge. You meet Willie Roaf in person, and he's just a monster. Like, he looks like a gigantic lumberjack, and he just moves unbelievable. So and Priest Holmes, I think, is unbelievable. Dante X was such a firecracker for so long. There's just been so many good players that have come through. Obviously, Derek Thomas. Like, I mean, what a legend that he's put down. It's hard to pick one, man. But I'm an O-lineman guy, so that powerhouse O-line we had, I think that's just those dudes collectively were amazing under Vermeil.
No, definitely. Definitely was a nice group back then. Just speaking of another guy that played under Vermeil, and this is a comparison that, they like to throw out there, especially with Kelsey just breaking a record. Who would you prefer if you had to have one tight end? It's a tough one. Tony Gonzalez or Travis Kelsey?
Oh, man, dude, you did make it impossible. I mean, Gonzalez, he's just, not only is he a stand-up, awesome human being, but, like, the amount of ability in that guy from, blocking standpoint to, obviously throwing catch, but he's just an all-around tight end. Like, there's not many of those all-around tight ends. And he played for so long. And he just really, Kansas City all the way through. There's just so many factors. I think I would have to go with Dallas just because of length of time he played the game. You know, Kelsey's still young, still finding. I mean, he's incredible, but I'm going with Gonzalez.
Okay, definitely fair. Got a Pro Football Hall of Famer. So
yeah, I know it's hard to go against like the true proven long time thing, man.
Definitely.
Kelsey is an entertaining human being, though. I think he's got a lot of personality, which helps him play the game at the level he does.
I definitely understand that. And you had mentioned, obviously, being an offensive lineman back in the day. What do you remember most about your time in the NFL when you spent with the Colts and the Cardinals?
Just the attitude, being around those group of guys, like the attitude, the team atmosphere. You know, and then when you get in the NFL, like it is a job through and through. It is, you're earning your paycheck, and there's guys coming after your paycheck. So it's just that protective kind of attitude you have towards how you play, how your team plays, and getting those wins. And it's just that family, you know, it's ride or die, if you will, because, you know, you guys are all going to battle on Sundays or Monday nights or Thursdays. So it's a group and a family that makes the sacrifices together, and you know, hopefully those always pay off at the end of the season. And I think they are for the Chiefs this year for sure.
Definitely. And I just want to also just describe your transition from playing football professionally to becoming a successful WWE superstar.
I think a lot of it is the mentality that you get when you try to make it to the NFL, because it's such a hard-fought road. I mean, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of college football players trying to get to the NFL, and there's 32 teams with, you know, 52-man rosters. It's tough to get to that level, and you have to have that dedication from the second you wake up to the second you go to bed. And, you know, you have to tailor every aspect of your life around finding success and getting to that level. And I think that helped me to make that transition, because I understand the sacrifice and the grind to getting to the elite level, and the WWE is the number one, you know, place to be for a guy who wants to be a superstar. And it's not easy. There's people all over the world that are trying to get here and continually trying to get here. So once you get here, you can't get complacent. It's one of those things where you have to continue on the grind, make yourself better, keep people interested in what you're doing. So just that mentality of hard work, I think, is the biggest thing that helped from NFL to WWE.
Okay. And so far in your career, has there been a WWE legend that has influenced you the most in your progression?
There's been a few that have really kind of taken part, and you know, Undertaker's a guy I really looked up to, and there's some similarities on the physicality and the mentality. So he's a guy I kind of grab onto anytime I'm around, and he seems very willing to help me. You know, not a lot of guys are going to want to give out secrets or their, you know, things that really help them get by, but he's a guy who's kind of grabbed onto me as well and helped tailor how I do things and how I think about putting things together. And, you know, he's really played a significant role in helping me find success. And same with Triple H. You know, he's a guy who's been hands-on with me since day one, and is always interested in what I'm doing and how I'm doing and how I can evolve. So those two guys have played, you know, major roles in helping me grow.
Okay, I definitely hear that. And my last question, so far in your career, you've been a lone wolf, constable, Raw general manager, champion, and the latest is obviously the king of the ring as King Corbin. What is the next big step for you in 2020?
To get a title around my waist. I think, you know, I want to get my hands on that WWE Championship. So that, I think that's the next step, and that's the logical step for me, because I have earned all of these stripes, and now it's time to put some gold around the waist.
Definitely hear that. King Corbin, thank you so much for taking the time, man, and, you know, have a great New Year.
I appreciate that, and we'll keep rocking with these Chiefs, man.
Definitely. Appreciate it.
All right, brother. Take care.
Take care.